What aerator should you buy for your company? What's going on? Michael with Lawn Dude here. Now, what aerator should you buy for your company? It's going to vary by your company. Disclaimer: every company and area is different. Why do I always put this disclaimer out? Because it needs to be said. A lot of people expect you to be able to provide generic knowledge that everyone can use. It's not that simple. So basically, for me, I know for our company, when I first decided I wanted to get aerations, I was renting aerators. And one thing about me is I hate having to rent, because then you got to schedule around the days you're renting. So when we went full time, when I took that plunge, I was like, okay, I need to buy an aerator, because now I'm available Monday through Friday to do aerations. I went on Craigslist at the time and got this old school classic. And keep in mind, I used to work for a lawn care company. I used to manage it, so I was real familiar with equipment. But this was the aerator I've never seen before. Apparently it was one that was used for golf courses. This joint was huge. It was a big walk behind aerator. I was excited to use it. It started right up all right. It started up, got in the trailer. I went to start using it on properties, because at the time we were also subbing for another company who had a lot of aerations for us to do as well. First yard I took that thing on, man, a piece broke. Fixed that piece, another piece broke. That thing had no up to get up a hill. Man, that junk was a piece of garbage. I called my supplier, or my equipment dealer at the time, and he called around to the actual manufacturer, and he said they were laughing at him when he told them what model it was. That's how old it was, man. So I knew that wasn't the move. So what I ended up having to do that year was I already had a pull behind. I put it behind, I had a zero turn, an X Mark 60-inch Laser Z zero turn at the time, and I used the pull behind that year, and I also used a walk behind that I rented from my former employer. So that was that year. The next year I knew I could not go out like that, so I kept searching. I think Craigslist, I finally found a Ryan LA4, man, for $700. It was actually $600. I offered him $700 to hold it for me for a week or two, so I can get the money up together. At the time, I did not have the money. I just knew by any means necessary we had to have that aerator. Got that aerator, ended up being the best decision made at the time, man. We made a lot of money in aerations just by being available, and we were able to do them later into the season. Some people want their aerations all the way into November. So having that option was beautiful. So basically, yeah, this guy wasn't trying to let me over. So basically, we got that aerator that year, and then the next year I think we used that in the pull behind. And I kept saying, man, I really want to get invested in this more. So we bought an LA5 the next year, and we were out there with the LA5 in the LA4, me and my guy, and we had a pull behind for big properties. And that next year, I'm like, man, I want to do even more next year. So then I invested in the Kubota tractor with an aerator, a pull behind aerator, and I thought that was going to be the move, but it wasn't. It was too much backing up and turning around on properties with that thing. It was actually kind of a pain using that for aerating. So then I finally took the plunge that I had been avoiding for the illest minute. And I think I took this plunge, last year? Yeah, last fall was my first fall with the stand-on. It was last year, the beginning of 2021. I want to say February 2021. I went to my equipment dealer. We pulled the trigger on the Stinger aerator in the seed box. Best purchase. It was such a great purchase to the point where I sold the LA4. We still keep the LA5. Why do you need to keep LA5? Because the back gate, I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of back gates in a lot of areas, a lot of super steep slopes. You're not going to be able to get that Stinger on. But there's a lot that I'm able to get that Stinger on. So I would say it really depends on what your company is bringing in. Honestly, like how many aerations do you think you can get? Is it beneficial for you? If you're getting like 10, 15 aerations, stand-on's probably not your move. I have a goal of getting anywhere from 100 to 150 aerations in a fall alone. And then add another 50 to 100 into the spring. Am I there yet? No, not at all. I mean, I think last year we came out pretty nice, but it's one of those things where you either gonna step out on faith or you're gonna wait until you have the clients. For us, we stepped out on faith and we're glad we did. So, what's your decision on what aeration works well for you? Again, it's gonna depend on your company.